In today's Final Touch, no man is an island.
But you can own one and live completely off the grid. An island just off the coast of North Carolina can be yours. Leah Island is an uninhabited island between Topsail and Figure 8 Islands in the Atlantic Ocean. According to the description of the property, you can own the lion's share of the barrier island, 80 acres. It'll set you back $4 million.
Oh, that would be heavenly.
But your folks live on a barrier island in South Carolina.
In South Carolina. It's called Isle of Palms.
Very pretty.
Very nice.
All right, we'll just save up our... That's our time for now. Thanks for watching. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, 10 years later, how a community is remembering after heavy rain caused the entire lake to drain into the Wisconsin River.
The man accused of hitting a Madison couple with his vehicle is facing additional charges.
And the tax holiday is coming up. We'll tell you about some interesting items you can buy between August 1st and 5th without paying any sales tax.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3. This Saturday marks the 10-year anniversary of the Lake Delton catastrophe.
It's hard for many community members to believe that it's been that long since the heavy floodwaters drained the lake right into the Wisconsin River. Our Keely Arthur caught up with some of the people there when it happened and shares their stories. Keely?
Well, you'll remember heavy rain caused Lake Delton to flood, breaching County Highway 8, then draining into the Wisconsin River, a catastrophe that some remember 10 years later.
The lake was literally emptying out right before our eyes.
In a matter of hours, a lake that was a home for some and an industry for others gone.
This massive Grand Canyon-sized, really, hole was happening right here in our beautiful community. And
Lake Delton Fire Chief Darren Jorgensen, who at the time was a volunteer for the department, like many, had spent the day leading up to the disaster trying to protect the dam on the lake.
To make sure it was going to withhold this deluge of water that was coming towards it.
As that was getting organized and we were getting ready to do that, next thing you know, the breach happened, which was nowhere near the dam on the other side. All of a sudden, the panic kind of ensued from there.
No one could really see that coming. It just happened.
600 million gallons pushed through a narrow strip of highway, surging the lake into the Wisconsin River, taking with it portions of the shore, highway, and 5 homes. Miraculously, and thanks to mandatory evacuations, no lives were lost, but the loss still very visible, hitting emotions and businesses hard.
Initially, when the lake emptied, we had to get a message across that said the Wisconsin Dells is still open and Wilderness on the Lake is still open. We were down 30% that summer.
The view from the wilderness and the rest of Lake Delton.
But, you know, this whole thing turned into a sand beach and mud, and there were actually people that were trying to go out to see the empty lake. And
is very different now, but there seems to be a sense of pride and awe that everyone there at the time weathered those very rough waters together.
When you think about the extent of damage that took place, that much earth literally was washed away and the lake is literally empty and homes are destroyed, and to have much of that repaired within about a year is pretty extraordinary.
And it really is incredible. Within a year of that horrific incident, much of this looks like how it does right now. And it really has become a national model for how to handle these catastrophic situations. We're going to hear more about those efforts tonight on News 3 at 6.
It is incredible to see how far they've come. We'll certainly never forget it.
Yeah, remember that video our photojournalist Doug Wall captured? Right. That aired nationwide
of
that night.
The house falling into the water.
Unbelievable. 10 years later.
Keely Arthur reporting live. Keely, thanks. We'll see you at 6.
Thanks, Keely. The driver accused of killing a Madison man and injuring his wife in a crash on Midvale Boulevard now facing 6 new charges. 19-year-old Benjamin Cortez was driving more than 100 miles per hour, according to a criminal complaint, when this crash happened back on April 27th. Police said he lost control of his car while driving recklessly, crashed into Greg and Patty Namitz. Greg instantly died. Cortez was originally charged with 3 charges, including homicide by negligent operation of a motor vehicle. An amended criminal complaint was filed today, and Cortez now faces 9 charges. A family spokesperson tells News 3 that Patty Namath is improving, but faces months of rehab before she can return home.
The man accused of crashing his semi into a school bus filled with middle school students will remain in jail. Wayne Murphy will remain held in jail on $35,000 cash bond, facing 10 charges of second-degree reckless injury and injury by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He's accused of being under the influence of prescription medication when he crashed into a bus full of Milwaukee area students headed to Wisconsin Dells for an end-of-the-year trip. 20 people were injured in that crash.
All right, it's time to look at your first alert weather. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield joining us in the Weather Center. Dave.
Good evening, Eric. It is quiet right now on Doppler track and also just generally outside, but that will change over the next couple of days with plenty of chances for showers and storms. We have storms to the south of us, storms to the west of us, but not over southern Wisconsin. We are looking at pretty nice conditions, warm this evening. We're at 82 right now with an east wind at 5 miles per hour on the WISC-TV Skycam in Madison. Dew point of 59, so a little bit on the humid side as well. Temperatures, some other spots were at 85 in Boscobel, 84 in Lone Rock, and 86 in Janesville. Southwestern Wisconsin has widespread dew points in the 60s, so a little bit more humid in that neck of the woods. Wind speeds, we have had a lake breeze today, but not as strong as in days past. So temperatures a little bit cooler closer to Lake Michigan this evening. Temperatures will be falling through the 80s and 70s into the mid 60s, partly cloudy and mild. We'll go over and track those storm chances hour by hour coming up in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Dave, thank you. And breaking in just the last half hour or so, the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association canceling its planned primary debates.
This after they faced criticism for their criteria to participate in the debate. Political reporter Jessica Arp has this information, which is just into our newsroom this afternoon. Jess?
Well, yeah, in just the last 15 minutes, the WBA announced this news that they will now not only cancel the controversial Democratic gubernatorial primary debate, but another Senate primary debate as well. The WBA originally planned to host a debate with the Democratic gubernatorial candidates. It was planned for Madison in late July, but the WBA said they only had time for 4 candidates to participate, required them to make the top 4 in the most recent Marquette poll, and to have raised a minimum of $250,000. In a statement tonight, the broadcasters say they remain committed to helping Wisconsin voters make informed decisions at the ballot box, and the foundation is looking forward to playing an important role in that process this fall. The broadcasters said this would give the candidates a chance to focus on other forums. Meanwhile, just this afternoon, the head of the liberal group One Wisconsin Now said it was ridiculous to cancel the debate because of, quote, too much interest.
All right, Jess Garp with this late breaking news and our news in studio with us. Jess, thanks.
Thank you, Jess. It seems like summer is just arriving, but some are already thinking about going back to school shopping.
Under a law signed by Governor Walker, people in Wisconsin can buy certain items like clothes and shoes between August 1st and August 5th without paying sales tax. But as Rose Schmidt tells us, there are some very random items on that list as well. Rose?
That's right. Rubber pants, beach capes, and lab coats. What do they all have in common? Well, they are all on that long list of items. Shirts, jeans, and sneakers are included as long as each item is $75 or under. The same guidelines go for school supplies like backpacks, highlighters, and lunch boxes. Some items that you might not expect, though, costumes, wedding apparel, and formal wear that costs under $75. Now, if you plan on shopping during the sales tax holiday, this is what the Department of Revenue wants you to know.
If a consumer thinks that they've been charged incorrectly, so they paid tax on an item that should be exempt during the holiday, they need to go back to the retailer and let them know they were charged tax incorrectly, and that retailer should return the tax to the consumer.
Computers, laptops, and tablets are sales tax exempt if they're $750 or under. Printers and CDs count if they're $250 or less. Now, a number of local business owners I spoke to today were unaware that their items would be tax exempt. Coming up on News 3 at 6, we explore that list of weird items even more and hear from the owner of a local costume shop.
It's a good year for Susan to update her rubber pants collection. Rose, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rose.
All right, a new story time is coming to the Beloit Public Library, and not everyone is on board with it.
Later this month, the library will host a drag queen story time. Our Rock County reporter Jenna Middaugh is live in our bureau at the Janesville Gazette to explain the library's goal with this new program. Jenna?
Hi, Susan and Eric. Well, the Beloit Public Library wants to make sure everyone knows this drag queen story time is happening so they can decide for themselves if they want to come. The library director says this is the first time Beloit has hosted a story time like this, and he's already gotten a lot of feedback, both positive and negative. The library sent out a news release earlier this week to make sure people are informed well in advance of the story time.
We don't want anyone to feel like their values are ambushed by not being informed by us ahead of time. And then it's uncomfortable for everybody in that story time, that program, whatever it might be. So that's why we wanted to make sure we got ahead with a news release like that.
The story time will have singing, crafts, and a dance session. It's scheduled for June 27th at 10 and 11 a.m. And coming up later tonight on News 3 at 6, we'll hear reaction from parents about the library hosting this drag queen story time.
Jenna Middaugh in our Rock County Bureau. Thank you, Jenna.
Officers are teaming up with athletes for the final leg of the Special Olympics torch run. The Madison Police Department kicking off the Region 6 final leg race. The law enforcement torch run is an event to raise funds and awareness for the Special Olympics here in Wisconsin. Officers from all over the state are carrying the Special Olympics torch in order to kick off the state summer games in Stevens Point today. School in Madison is out tomorrow, and for a lot of kids, that means the loss of a reliable meal once a day. In fact, 1 out of 6 kids in Dane County faces food insecurity.
We here at WISC-TV are teaming up with the Goodman Community Center to step up and help, and we're asking you to join us and become a hunger hero. Here's one company who's answering that call tonight.
The way I grew up was community and neighbors were everything.
Rain or shine, you'll find inside this downtown law firm,
We have such a great group here at Axley that believe the same thing.
a family.
That we need to do as much as we can for our community and our neighbors. It's just how we live every day.
Elaine Jensen has been part of this family as a paralegal for 17 years now. And it was that family that supported her when she lost part of her own.
My husband passed away a year and a half ago, unexpectedly. And the first thing you think of is, how do you get through? But when you realize you have not only your own family, but your work family there to support you, and as you struggle to get through, they're there to pull you up.
So it's no surprise that Axley is now offering a hand up to its community. The law firm is working on a food drive for the Goodman Community Center.
It was a no-brainer. It was an easy yes for us.
Our goal this summer is to help people make it through the weekend with enough food to feed their families.
The center is teaming up with us here at WISC-TV to find hunger heroes in our community, asking local businesses and residents to create their own food drives this June, all to be donated to families in need.
You know, a few cans of food, a dozen eggs, a loaf of bread can mean the difference between a family and the children in the family eating on the weekend and not.
It is a family. And it's not just a cliche. You hear that all the time, oh, we're a family, but we really are.
For Elaine, help during her darkest time is why she's stepping up.
The way that the employees have stepped up and just been there for each other at some of the worst times of our lives is when you realize
support, inspiring action to help out the next down on their luck. That's why Elaine and Axley are giving back to their larger family.
That's, I think, what keeps us motivated to give back to others.
In Madison, I'm Leah Lynchide for WISC News 3.
If you're interested in getting involved, here's how. Launch your own food drive like Axley Law Firm is doing within your household, your job, your athletic club, anywhere. Or you can donate money at 2 of our local grocery stores coming up in a couple of weeks. It's all leading up to a phone bank here on News 3. Mark your calendar, June 28th. And head to our website, channel3000.com/hungerheroes for more information.
That's still ahead on News 3 at 5. Finally free after 20 years in prison. A great-grandmother spending some time at home. I'll tell you how President Trump and Kim Kardashian helped her be reunited with her family.
And a new study shows alarming statistics about the rise in suicide in the United States. We'll tell you what they are when we come back.
In the wake of fashion icon Kate Spade's suicide, a new study shows suicide rates have increased 30% in the U.S. in the last 20 years.
The Centers for Disease Control is calling suicide a national public health problem. New research shows suicides are on the rise in almost every state. In 2016, nearly 45,000 people took their lives, and more than half of them did not have a known mental health diagnosis. Signs and symptoms to look for include isolation, agitation, anger, alcohol or drug use, and change in sleep patterns.
We found that many common life stressors were present in the period preceding the suicide. Relationship problems, financial and job issues, physical health concerns.
The increases have been greatest in people aged 45 to 64, and while suicide is more common in men than women, there has been a rise in female suicides.
After 2 decades in prison, a great-grandmother is spending tonight at home. 63-year-old Alice Marie Johnson was released yesterday with the help of Kim Kardashian West, who made a personal appeal to the president. Johnson had been serving life without parole for being part of a cocaine trafficking ring. Kardashian first became interested in Johnson's case last fall.
Up without a bunk bed over my head. That was great.
Knowing that she's sitting right here next to me and there's no guards anywhere, that's wonderful.
President Trump tweeted this morning, quote, "Good luck to Alice Johnson. Have a wonderful life." The White House said in a statement it will always be tough on crime, but that some people deserve a second chance.
2 rock climbers shattered a record once considered impossible when they scaled El Capitan in Yosemite National Park in less than 2 hours. 1 hour, 58 minutes, 7 seconds. That's all it took Tommy Caldwell and Alex Honnold to speed climb up one of the mountain climbing's most storied routes. Until they took on the challenge, no one else had conquered the nose of El Capitan in less than 2 hours, 19 minutes. The duo scaled Yosemite's towering granite formation, rising about 3,000 feet from base to summit.
Let's go to the backyard patio. Dave Caulfield standing by with our forecast. Dave?
I have seen El Capitan before. I've been to Yosemite, which at the time I was
younger. You didn't try to climb it, though?
No. I called it Yosemite, so I was pretty young at the time, or it was yesterday. I can't remember.
We all make that mistake.
But yeah, I mean, more power to him. That is really impressive. I could barely climb a rock wall at, just a local place or at a carnival or anything like that. So excellent job for them. I'll stick to telling the weather. How about that? We are warm and a little bit on the humid side this afternoon on this Thursday. High temperatures in the 80s for many of us in southern Wisconsin, a little bit closer to Lake Michigan. We ended up in the 70s and some 90s just as close as Iowa City and Moline. As far as departure from normal rainfall-wise, we're about a ½ inch behind schedule for the month of June, which is pretty crazy considering May was just such a wet month. The U.S. Drought Monitor coming out today for June 5th. Still some dry conditions over northern Wisconsin into the UP, but most of the state is looking good in the drought department. That is not the case at all as we head farther to the south and west, where we could see over the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas, D5 conditions. We really do need a good amount of rain there pretty quickly. We actually have what's called the Ring of Fire setup right now, and that's why I have some Johnny Cash lyrics in there. What happens is high pressure sits over the southern United States. It's a really strong high pressure system cut off from everything else, and along the ridge of that high pressure system, which is close to us, that jet stream helps to create some showers and thunderstorms, and that's why we have really ever-present shower and thunderstorm chances over the next couple of days. And from me talking about it to you seeing it right before your eyes, look at that ring. That's where you can see those severe thunderstorm watches in effect for portions of the United States. Luckily, this evening, I think we will remain quiet on Doppler track, and that's what we're seeing right now. From a ring of fire to a sky of fire. Look at this colorful sunrise. Donald, thank you so much for sending this in. There is a large bee by me right now. Sorry, folks. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam looking at mostly sunny skies. Temperature at 82 right now and east wind at 5 miles per hour. High temperature trend definitely getting a little bit warmer as we head into the work week next week with highs in the 80s. Right now we're in the 80s as well across the area. Dew points in the 50s and 60s, so a little bit on the humid side. Tonight becoming mostly cloudy. Thunderstorms arriving late. with temperatures falling into the 50s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers and thunderstorm chances will be with us, and temperatures in the mid-70s. So we can see on future track that we'll be quiet this evening, but into the morning hours of Friday, some showers and thunderstorms developing. Those chances are with us through much of the day on Friday and even into Saturday as well. Some thunderstorm chances are with us, so we'll have to keep that umbrella handy for the next couple of days at least. Your 7-day forecast showing temperatures in the 70s for the next couple of days. We actually get a break from the rain chances on Sunday and Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Otherwise, that umbrella is going to need to be with us. So let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. Taking a live look right now at Rimrock Road and the Beltline. Slow go in both directions on the Beltline this evening. No major accidents or incidents to report across Dane County, so that's good news, but definitely some slow go on the Beltline as you might expect for this time of day. Things are looking pretty good as we head closer to the interstate and Stoughton Road, but the midsection is still rather slow, backing up all the way to Verona Road. Verona Road to John Nolan eastbound, that's 13 minutes right now with an average speed of around 20 miles per hour. And that is your first alert traffic. So the thunderstorm chances definitely going to be with us over the next couple of days, but some sunny times as well ahead.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Ahead at 5, a new study shows that most Americans are not doing enough to get ready for retirement, what experts say should be done in order to prepare for the future when we return. A new study shows most Americans may not be prepared for retirement.
And now there are new warnings about the future of Social Security as some 10,000 baby boomers become eligible for those benefits every day. Stephen Goss is the chief actuary from the Social Security Administration. He testified before Congress today that the payout exceeds the revenue collected by Social Security for the first time since 1982. That means Social Security must dip into a reserve fund, and that's expected to run out by 2034.
And this is due to the lower than expected earnings as a share of gross domestic product in 2016 and 2017.
Without enough payroll taxes coming in, future Social Security benefits could drop by 21% if the reserve runs dry. A Bankrate study shows 6 in 10 people don't know how much money they'll need for retirement. Financial experts say the big takeaway is that everyone should strive for long-term savings. Workers should put away at least 10%.
Dave has one final check of your forecast when we return. Stay with us.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, why the president says Kim Jong-un could end up at the White House. The pizza delivery man now at the center of a national immigration controversy, and what NASA says could be a breakthrough on Mars. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Last day of school today for a lot of kids, but maybe some rain for the first day of summer vacation tomorrow, huh?
I know. I'm like the worst.
No, it's not your
sorry,
fault.
Way to go, Dave. Yeah, I mean, this is my track record, you know, but we are talking about some sunshine right now, so, you know, let's focus on the positives. Platteville on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam looking at mostly sunny skies. As we head into tomorrow, some rain will be with us, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures will only make it into the mid-70s because of that rain around, so we won't be too hot. At least that's the good news. Your 7-day forecast showing temperatures in the 80s by the time we get into the work week next week. Plenty of chances for showers and storms. An unsettled weather pattern continues, but also some sunny days are ahead of us.
Okay, sounds good. Dave, thank you. Thanks for joining us at 5. We're back in 30 minutes with News 3 at 6. The CBS Evening News coming your way next.